Welcome back. And yes, away from health issues now, we'll be going straight into politics. So, Chatham House, for some reason, has become pretty popular amongst Nigerians. First, it was the presidential candidate of the All Progressive Congress who was featured, or rather, who was at Chatham House. That came and went with its own, media foray. And then, of course, we had Peter Obi of the Labour Party. And then, of course, as it is, I followed all that happened on social media and all of that. And then, of course, we had Rabiu Musa Kwankwaso of the NNPP as well. And that came down with a lot of violence, like we put it, the language we use on social media. We started hearing the name of certain brands and stuff like that. And we're going to be talking about analyzing NNPP's manifesto and the party's chances. And our guest this morning in the studio is Folashade Aliu. She's a National Campaign Secretary of the NNPP. Now, you're welcome to the studio.
Thank you for having me.
And on the program as well. So I would like to start off. An interesting event played out at Chatham House with your principal the other day, where he was confronted with the question of when he was going to step down. And then we saw the reaction from him. And that, of course, caused a lot of... In fact, his reaction, or his response to that question, pleased a lot of people from the APC and the PDP. Because I was on Twitter and I saw how all of that was going. But what was your take on... what was your impression about the whole situation?
Well, thank you very much. Before I get into that, let me quickly say that we truly appreciate what Silverbird is doing, especially during the season of electoral campaigns. It's involving all of us. What we put out there, how we put our contents together, party participation, voters awareness, and the rest of that. It's very important that we know that we've shifted or we've moved progressively from what it used to be. Thank you. For me to answer that question, a lot of times people just want to extract what they want to extract. The fact of the matter is that before that question, of course, a presentation has been made. The core beliefs and principles of our campaign and our party was clearly established and emphasized. In terms of the economy, the social factors, deepening democracy, and human security, because security, it's beyond the bandwidth and the kidnappers. We have all kinds of security issues, of course, which I'll get into that later. Now, that particular question came because somebody is expecting something or wishing something, or something to happen. Yes, all of us would have believed or would have liked certain things to happen, but everything takes process. There's processes to everything, and there are procedures to everything. And the way that my principal, distinguished Senator Rabiu Musa Kwankwaso, answered that question, for me clearly displayed maturity and leadership. In the sense that, look, if you are saying that I shouldn't put myself out, if I'm a good product, that's why we all take our kids to certain school. You attend, you belong to certain clubs. You are part of certain organizations because you are proud of it.
Yeah.
We should be proud of our accomplishments. And at this point in time, Nigeria, we're at a critical crossroad. It doesn't say that you have to have certain, we all understand what the minimum requirement per the HINEC stipulations. But however, if you have what it gets to do the job and you are ready on day one, you should let Nigerians know. So for somebody to just come and say, why are you not stepping there? I mean, for me, I think he has been very matured with it, because I think what that means is that whatever you have been doing, put it aside. Don't bother about it. It doesn't matter. Just do this. And nobody does that. Not on that kind of a stage. So for him to have said, look, you should have, downturn it a little bit and be more matured about it, even though you wish it. So for me, it's just a wish of some certain people, and they just want to capture what they want to capture. Because my principal did not actually say step down. He said, if you think that there's somebody that is better and more qualified than I am, is available out there, bring it on. Let's talk, let's discuss. And I think that shows some level of maturity, especially on that stage. Thank you.
All right, so that takes me to the clamor of alliance. You know, people have been rumoring in several quarters of alliance and everything. They've even rumored that it's about to happen. So I ask again, are there any forms of alliance or any plan of alliance? Of course, barely 40 days to the general election.
Well, if you allow me, I will just say again that it's just a wish, it's on the wish list of some, and I say let them pick up their lazy butts and do what it takes to win election, because that's what we are doing. We are approaching those elections with all our vigor, our experiences, our access, our knowledge, our reach. And I can tell you, we have gone to 36 or 35 plus FCT. We have traveled the road. We are still doing our cross country. So if somebody wants to align or, you know, walk into alliances, you're not going to put yourself through that. And we, like recently, like I said, even in the Northwest, whether it's from Kano to Castilla to Zamfara, we've done it. In the Northeast, whether it's Gombe, Adamawa, and the rest of it, and Borno, we have done it. And if you look at this North Central, we have done it. Kwaras, Kogi, Nasarawa, we just did Lafayette for our North Central. So we have done that. In the Northeast, we have done that. It's only Enugu we've not gone in the, we've not been to in the Southeast. In the South, we have done Delta. We have done so many. You understand? And in the Southwest, we have done Lagos to Ogun, to Ondo, to Ekiti. So if your intention is to align with someone, I don't think that we will go to that extent. And of course, if you look at our blueprint, it's very detailed. And our blueprint is basically people-centric. Around you, around your family, around your business. And what are we asking Nigeria to do? To join us, to create a better Nigeria. Because we all know we could do much better than where we are today.
Okay, let me take you up on this. Your principal at Chatham House pointed out to the fact that we are where we are today because of what has happened or the sort of leadership we've had from 1999 up until date.
Yes.
But you can't take away the fact that, or you can't ignore the fact that your principal has been politically active from that period up until now.
Yes.
He was active as governor first time in 1999. After that period, came in as Minister of Defense, and eventually after that went back as state governor in Kano State. And that's been the situation. So is it right to say that he also played a part in what happened? Because sometimes it seems a bit confusing when some of these politicians talk about how bad leadership has been, and when you look back, you discover that they also had some part to play in that leadership. So it's a bit confusing for some of us, actually.
Well, it should not be confusing, and the reason for that is that we have layers of governance in Nigeria, and even though everyone, you know, gets to that place through a platform, which is a party, but you will agree with me that you will look at the demographics of what this person is talking about. In the case of His Excellency, distinguished Senator Rabi Musa Konko. So look at Kano State. Look at what he was able to achieve as a minister for defense, when he was a member of the NDDC, when he was an advisor in the four. What are his accomplishments?
So in other words, everybody around him was bad, but he was just a
No, that's not what I'm saying. Look, and governance, yes, we believe that you have to put the right people in the right place. You belong to the family of the party. But one of the reasons why we have decided, I was a member of PDP as well. The reason why we decided to leave that party is because we look at the way that they are, you know, the policies that they put out there are driven. He was in PDP, in APC, and he found out that what was agreed, the way that things supposed to happen is not what is happening. And just like you and I, if you belong to any group and you say, look, let's make the life of Nigerians better, and you see that people get there and they are totally drifting away from their vision or from what all of you have agreed to do to move that particular group, in this case Nigeria, to a greater height, what you do your best to make sure you make the correction. And what do they say? The minority have their say, and the
majority have their way.
The majority have their way. And if you now see that this is not drifting towards what we all agree, the best thing you could do is to find an alternate platform. And that's what we have done. That's why we're here at NNPP.
Okay, like my colleague said, that while he was at the ends of affair in the respective places, he had the opportunity to prove himself. Of course, you've said that he has done well. But the one that really caught my attention was promising free education in all entry of our institution. How realistic is that with the budget we have for education and the rot we have presently in the education sector?
Well, thank you so very much. And you know, education is like some people will call it Mr. Education and Mr. Education and Mr. Education. We believe that our education, apart being the formation of all human endeavor, it's very important that you find a way to make sure that every child that is out there, as much as you can, it may not be possible to the last child, but like I said, as much as you can in terms of policy, in terms of programs, to make sure that children go to school. When he was the executive governor of Kano State, that was one of his greatest achievements. Every child must go to school, no child left behind. And there was a policy as a parent, if you do not allow your child to go to school, there are consequences for that. And he also makes sure that there are enough facilities, because you cannot say children should go back to school and you don't make provision for the facilities. That's why we're talking about 500,000 classrooms across the nation. You cannot have the facility without training the teacher. We have a program and a template for teacher training. And you find that it's only in Nigeria that a child had struggled to go through elementary or primary, like we call it here, and for $2,000, as 2,000 naira, is not able to pay for JAM, is not able to pay for WAEC. And we have so many children today that fell through the crack. So what we are saying is that anything that has to do with the education of our children should not be a revenue generation situation for this country. There are so many ways we can generate revenue. Yes, we need to generate revenue. If you have the right resources, you have the right tool, you have the right people, you have the right policies, you will have the money, because that means that your policies will be people-centric, and in addition to that, you will be able to look at the wastages, you will be able to look at where you can be creative to, you know, raise more revenue. Do you know how many manufacturers or even how many companies that are out of Nigeria because of our policies? Our policies has to be business friendly. You can, you know, get more taxes when people are doing well. Number one, they will employ. Number two, they will be glad because they see. It's only in Nigeria that I see that we collect taxes and we still, you know, repair our roads. We provide our own security. You provide your own water and the rest of it. So it's because people are not seeing the justification of paying taxes. That's just one area. We have so many assets out there. Look at our crude production. Doesn't mean we cannot do better. We can do better. And it's coming out gradually to say that, oh, we move from 900,000 to 1 point something all of a sudden. That tells you that something is happening somewhere. So if that could happen, it could be better. If we look at wastages, if you streamline certain things, if you have the political will to make sure that every Nigerian child has opportunity to have good education, it will happen. The resources are there. They're talking about our debt. You know, it's just like a family. If you're the head of the family, for instance, and you figure out that whether your salary is not covering what you give up something, you call your family members together And you give up something, and they will understand, and they will help you as the father, as the head of the family. They will find a way to help you. You'll be surprised that even the little child in the family will say, Daddy, I don't want chocolate today. Let's save some money so that, we can do. So that's the way it goes. It's just in the practical family terms. In the national interest, there are so many ways that we can settle down and we can increase the revenue generation in this country.
All right, so I wish to take you up on another aspect, because word on the street, because at the end of the day, elections will be won and lost on the streets and by the people and all of that. Word on the street is, these opinions are in two shades now. Some people believe that your principle is playing the long game, that perhaps 2023 is not necessarily the target. Because when you're talking about, earlier on you made mention of the fact that your campaigns, but it may seem that you may not be campaigning as aggressively as other political parties, like the LPs, the PDP and the APC and what have you. People may not have been seen as so. There's a concern that, okay, perhaps Rabi Musa Kwankwaso is looking at playing the long game. Maybe 2023 is not really the intention, but what's your take on that?
Well, I want to reassure you and every Nigerian, and particularly people that are voting age out there, that we are set to win this election. And we're working smart, we're working hard to win this election. I've had some people say, oh, we're just coming out. We're not just coming out. We are talking to people. It's not only in the city center. And actually, if you look at the demographics and the data that is out there of the history of voting in Nigeria, in the city centers, people, on that day, they choose to stay home, they choose to play ball on the street.
Is that what you're hoping for?
No, that's not what I'm saying. I am saying that we are grassroots based. And if I tell you that out of 774 local governments in this country, we have been to close to 500 local governments, and no candidate of any party out of the 18 political parties have done that. So just like you're saying, it boils down to the people. It's good to have the media behind you all the time, but the point is that it's not practical. It's not practical for us as a campaign, that everywhere that we are, from the very first day that INEC put it out that we can start campaign, we have started. And we are going very, very strong. And the people that's supposed to hear the gospel of our campaign, they are here and we're getting results.
But then, okay, you go ahead.
Yes, no, just do it.
All right, so, but here's the thing though. When people look at the whole permutations, make all of the permutations and all, initially the conversation was about why should Northerners even throw their hats into the ring in the first instance? I mean, given the fact that we have one Northerner who is at the helm of affairs now, and ordinarily power should be seated or go to the South and all of that, isn't his chances, I mean, this has been spoken about on several occasions, but we'll still have to ask, isn't it counterproductive at the end of the day, considering the fact that you also have another contender from the North who is also strong? So in the real sense of it, what are the chances, realistic chances of the NNPP?
Okay, let me say this. I believe that as a Nigerian, and I am throwing this to all Nigerians, we have to get to the point that we go beyond North and South, Christian and Muslim, traditionalist and everything else. At this critical junction, we need somebody that is knowledgeable. We need someone that's objective. We need a leader like Senator Rabi Musa Kwankwaso, who is very selfless. We need a leader that is accessible. Let me explain.
Sorry, will it seem justifiable to you if perhaps in the next 16 years you have a president coming from just one part of the country alone?
What is important to me, what should be important to all Nigerians, is the person that can help us build a new Nigeria, someone that can help our economy. This situation we are, every one of us is affected, one way or the other. If you are not, somebody in your family is affected. Someone that can put Nigeria on global space in a manner that we will be appreciated and respected for who we are as a nation. We need someone that can help us. Look, last time we voted because we thought a general could take care of the social issues we have. He has done his best. He has shown us his best. We need someone who can be open-minded, and we need someone who is compassionate. And why do I say compassionate? As a leader, when you are compassionate, your people-centric policies will be paramount to you. The impact of your decision will be paramount to you, because you know that that one decision you are making affecting millions of people. At this point, we need someone that can roll up his sleeves on the first day. We need someone who can bring forth his ministers within a very short time. We need a leader like Senator Rabi Musa Kwankwaso who can engage communities. And that is where we are different from everybody else. Everyone is saying we want to build a better Nigeria, a new Nigeria. They're all using our name, New Nigerian People's Party. We are glad they're using our name. But what I'm telling you is that what is the magic wine if you do not engage communities and you don't engage people? And that is why we are different. So what we are doing is that we've based, how do I want to put it? We have built this campaign over the years of experience and goodwill and commitment and dedication and patriotism of distinguished Senator Rabi Musa Kwankwaso. He cannot do it alone. That's why if you look at, if you look around our campaign and our our party, you see that we're very deliberate in putting people in places. So we are not joking at all, and I'm reassuring everybody that we are ready for this election, and we're going to win this election.
Okay, so talking about being being a grassroots party and everything, I'm concerned about Southeast, Southwest. How popular is your candidate in that region? Yes, I'm very much concerned.
Well, let me say this. Let me start from the Southwest. I'm a Yoruba woman myself, and a Catholic, but that matter, for that matter. So I understand what you're saying. In the Southwest, like I told you, we have done Ogun, we have done Ondo, we have done Ekiti, and we have done Lagos, and we will be going back to Lagos. So the point is that whether it's in the Southeast or Southwest or North Central or whatever, or South-South, we have been to South-South. And I want to also tell you that all of the positions from the House of Assembly at the state level to the House of Representatives, to the Senate seats, to the governorship of the 28 governorship locations, that are going to be, we have candidates. Those are people. And all of those people are campaigning. And all of those people are working towards winning election. So it's not only at the top. You can't do it only at the top. At each level of the competition, you have to have capable people. We have competent people, we have capable people, and we have people that are very strong politicians in their own areas. So we're going to make it. We are prepared to make it, and we will get there by God's grace. And when we get there, we will find the money. By the grace of God.
All right, I wish we could go on and on. Thank you so much, Elizabeth. Sorry, I was going to Folashade Aliu, National Campaign Secretary, NNPP. Thank you so much for coming on the program. I just hope that before we all go to the polls on the 25th of February, we'll also have time to have you come over again and have some more interactions with you. Thank you so much.
Well, and thank you for having me.
Yes,
and watch out for us.
All right.
Continue to watch out for us.
We will. I wish you all the best.
Thank you very much.
All the best as well. Yeah, so, okay, we're done for today, right?
Oh, yeah, we are. I thank God it's Saturday, too.
Okay, thank God it's Saturday. So, for our guests, for our viewers at home, thank you so much for being a part of the program today. And I would like to, I wouldn't let the cat out of the bag yet. I was going to say something, maybe out of excitement, say something, but I'll just let that hold for now. Maybe subsequently we'll give you that information. But thank you so much for being a part of the program. We'll be back next week with another exciting edition of the program News Hub Extra here on Silverbird News 24. Bye-bye for now.